Hey everyone, welcome back to Google Workspace Recap, where we review everything new to Workspace every week. My name is Jesse Nolan, my co-host is Steve Larson, and we're here to help you keep up. Reminder to attend our Jamf Certified Associate Certification event live this coming Tuesday, September 26th at 10 a.m. with the Jamf folks who developed the certification. As always, we'll be doing a deep dive into how it was set up, how to study, and of course, how to pass, hopefully, pass the certification. Tune in on YouTube again September 26th for the live stream and possibly some giveaways. And by possibly, I mean they'll be giving away 100 codes to take the exam for free. So you definitely want to be there because they won't be available once we're no longer live. Definitely tune in for that. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified so that you know whenever we go live or put out some amazing new content. And of course, thank you to Jamf for continuing to make this show possible. More on that later. Steve, how's it going?
Good. Yeah, I have to get a bunch of certifications redone for myself on the Google side of things. Actually, I've got to get my Workspace admin one redone. Cloud Architect, I don't know, I got to do a couple. Got to do a few. I've been slacking on those.
Well, you know, there was no beta to entice you to jump into it and be the first one to take those tests. So now it's less motivational for you.
That's what happened. So I lost my Workspace admin like number 20.
No.
So I'm gonna get a new one. Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad. They can't just like retroactively. They gave it to somebody else. How does that work?
No, the number. I mean, the number won't be given out to anyone else anymore. So I'll just get
Well, you know what? Your number has been retired, to use the sports analogy, Steve. It was so good, they retired it, okay?
Right, yeah. Yeah, maybe one day I'll get, figure out a way to get number one on one of the exams.
There you go.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, I have to do that too. I have not been following up too much on the certified side of things. I've just been so busy with work, this, editing,
Yeah. Well, we have a relatively light update in terms of updates, but from the week, the normal announcements. But
sure, the updates
sprinkled in
are
a bunch of other updates though. Some other things. First time we've seen a GCDS update in a long time.
Yeah.
On any of the products there. But we did have a few things come up in the end of week recap post here. So there were four kind of silent releases there. And a lot of news, a lot of items in the news here. So a bunch of events from GCC and a few other things happening in the kind of Google sphere of things. So be a lot of Jesse talking today on those topics. So let's run through what we have in store for you today, though. So first thing in silent releases, we have the ability to insert links in Google Sheets and the Google Sheets app on iOS devices. There's also some enhanced spam protection through some automatic labeling of suspected spam messages in Google Voice.
Yay.
Birthday decorations. There's going to be some birthday decorations there for the people cards. And then last one here, we have the ability to add an organizational unit as an attribute in your external directory. And I believe that is in Cloud Sync in that application there. And then the one update that we did see, as I said, it was a pretty quiet week for updates. That update is that there is dual display support on Poly Studio X series to help you make video meetings a little bit more productive there. And then, as I said, we do have an update on GCDS, so we haven't seen an update on that in quite some time. We haven't seen that since early this year, January. So there is a new release, version 5.0.28. So just a little bit of a minor update there on that one. Drive for Desktop also saw an update on that, going up to version 81. And then Chrome 117 is on its way out to everyone, I think. Let me see if I have it on mine yet. I'm in beta, so I'm on 118. So yeah, I have it already. So I think if I'm on beta on 118, that would mean stable should be 117. So I think that's probably out for most.
Yeah, 117 is rolling out. I've already got it.
Yeah. Yep. And then we have, as I said, a bunch of articles in the news here. First one from Google. There's a Google Next TLDR Insider Recap So you can, it's an Innovators Plus, is it Innovators Plus event only?
Yes.
So, okay. So that just means you have to have access to Innovators Plus to see that? Is that right?
Yeah, you would have had to either paid for Innovators Plus, which I think is $300 a year, or you would have gotten it as part of a 3-day, I believe it was a 3-day pass to Google Next. It was also included in, and that's part of the Innovators program.
But this is... Okay, so, okay, all right, I'm just looking at it. So in order to register, you have to log in. Okay. Got
Yeah,
it.
if you just
Got it.
Google
So
Google Innovators, you can learn more
Yeah.
about that program, which is what I've talked about before. I'm the champion tier of Innovators, but anybody can join the Innovators, and you get Innovators Plus, which includes events like these. And that's,
Yes,
you would have had to have either gotten it as part of your ticket or paid for it.
Yes, that's an event. So coming up on the 28th of September, actually, is what that is. Looks like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We have a Wall Street Journal article here about Google extending the lifespan of Chromebooks to 10 years. So Chromebooks getting an update, getting updates for 10 years is what that's about. And we also have the Google blog article that complements that as well. And then a lot of GCC events coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of those happening. I think one just happened in Boston, I saw.
Oh, did it?
They had, or that was a C2C event.
That's C2C. Yeah, these are
C2C
virtual.
event. Yeah, so right, these are virtual ones. I think this was posted by Lauren recently on the Cloud Connector. I saw it on LinkedIn. I think she posted them.
Yep.
So a lot of those updates there, a lot of those events coming up that you can register and sign up to. I think the first one is tomorrow. So
Uh-oh, I better get this
If you are
episode out
listening-
fast.
if you get it out, the next one is coming out tomorrow. It is I think that was an event on AppSheet, maybe. I think that's the next
No.
one coming out, right?
The first one in the list is September 26th. That's not the one you're talking about.
No, that's not the one I'm talking about. But I thought there was one that is tomorrow, the 19th, I believe.
Could be. The first one that's
maybe
there is
that
going
is-
to make Steve mad.
No, the last one. So the last on the list is the first one that
Got
happens.
it. I did not post these chronologically. I apologize.
That's okay. We can redo those. But yeah, some product updates here. Q&A spaces. Yep, that one there. Inline threading. Talking about that. I will definitely join that and voice my grievances. There's a Google Cloud Identity, Microsoft Azure AD, and Azure, or Microsoft AD and Azure AD topic there. Simplifying Cloud Identity Management with that. Some tips and tricks with getting the most out of Workspace and AppScript, and deep dive in Google Workspace security, how to make it to make safe, smart collaboration a reality. And then, the last one here on our list, but the first one that's happening tomorrow, is that updates to AppSheet databases, input functionality, and expanded access for Workspace editions. So they'll talk about that tomorrow. Also, an article here from Google talking about the Squarespace purchase of Google domains and registrations there, what that means to you, and then also a 9to5 article also talking about the same thing.
Yep.
We have a Verge article here talking about Google's Emoji Mashup Maker is now available in search.
This is fun.
Look at that. Yeah, so much fun. Love these emojis.
This is Steve's favorite topic, emojis,
So cool.
right after threads.
Yep. And we also have in our Google article here about announcing third-party extensions for Duet AI in Workspace, Salesforce, in Workspace and Salesforce as a first partner. So a couple little new updates there to Duet AI. And then finally, a Verge article here talking about the Nest Hub Max is dropping support for Google Meet and Zoom. So that, don't like that. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, I will go
Yeah.
a little bit into length on that. Of course, there's always the Pixel tablet, but more on that in a bit. At this point in the show, I want to give a big shout out real quick to our friends at Jamf, once again, for making these weekly updates possible. I know that we've mentioned Jamf a few times, so this week I thought I would do a product spotlight on their access and identity management solution called Jamf Connect. If you're familiar with GCPW, which you should be because we just mentioned it and mention it regularly on the show, or the Google Credential Provider for Windows, you'll understand the benefit of employees using their Google identity to log in to their computer. It can reduce password fatigue and eliminate IT tickets. Well, Jamf Connect does that and so much more for the Apple devices in your company. By letting employees use their same Google identity to set up an account and log into their Mac, users can have a simpler time starting with a new company or simply starting their day. In addition to account creation capabilities, users know they can work safely from everywhere because their connection is secured with zero trust network access. This is an amazing solution for companies with Apple devices, and it can be integrated with Google Identity and most other identity providers. Once again, if you want to learn more, please head over to jamf.com/workspace recap. That's jamf.com/workspace recap. Check it out. And now onto the show.
All right, so we'll get through these updates here relatively quickly, I think.
5 minutes of Steve and an hour and a half of me talking for a change.
Indeed. So the first one that we saw in the recap post here is that you can now insert links in Google Sheets, in the Google Sheets app on iOS devices. So the ability to insert a hyperlink into a cell by selecting the cell and clicking plus in the top left corner, insert link. So this was always, even on Android devices too. I think I was always having to do equals hyperlink quote URL close quotation comma the text.
What a pain.
That's how I had to do it on the Android device, and I think it's still, I don't know if it's still the case, but this is happening on iOS. Maybe they did it on Android. I just haven't noticed it yet.
I don't know.
So, let's see.
Actually just reformatted my phone, so I don't even have Sheets on here. Thanks for the reminder to download that.
Yeah, you'll notice that if you're trying to open up a doc or a sheet, and then you just get this like web preview instead of opening up in the app. That's what'll happen. But this is available to all Workspace customers and users with personal Google accounts. So there's a link to more on that. In a help article, and I think it does say something here about adding a link on Android, so it looks like there is a way to do it. I just haven't noticed that until now. So there we go. And next we have, let's get back to this here. I clicked out of the updates here. The enhanced spam protection through some automatic labeling of suspected spam messages in Google Voice. So, what I noticed the other day is like the Google Voice text functionality just isn't as as robust as the built-in Messenger app. You can't do things like schedule sending messages. I mean, you can kind of, because you can like, if you've sent a message to someone in Google Voice, you can respond via email.
Yeah.
You can schedule send an email to them, which is a text message.
That's a wonky hack.
I mean, yeah, it worked the other day. Like I was testing it out. I'm like, I think I can do this. I can respond via email, and it worked. I basically was wishing someone happy birthday at midnight.
Cute.
So I was like, it automatically.
That's the next update.
Right at midnight. Yeah, but I wish the Google Voice app for text messaging had more feature parity with the built-in like Google Messenger app that they have.
Well, that's classic Google, right? Five different chat strategies for 2 different apps and endless amounts of ways to do the same thing, and none of them are exactly the same. And they've gotten better and are continuing to get better. So yes, I do agree with you. I think voice should be a bigger focus for them, and I think that they should definitely have better, deeper integration, especially on Android, with the Messengers app and with the phone app. And again, Google is currently in court for antitrust, so they can't do too much platform dominance, make you use things. And then there's Microsoft, who has a literal built-in keyboard shortcut to open LinkedIn, built into the hard-coded into Windows. But anyway, we digress.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I discovered that this week. Today I learned. It was actually a couple days ago. Yeah, it's like Control-Shift, Windows, Alt, L, I think, is the shortcut. It's like all of the option keys and L opens it on Windows. I don't have Windows open in front of me, so I couldn't tell you. But I'm pretty sure that's what it is. If you just Google LinkedIn Windows shortcut key, it'll come up.
There you go. Control-Shift-Alt Windows L.
See? I was like doing it on my keyboard when I was...
as LinkedIn opens in your default browser.
Default browser, yes. This close, it could have opened in Edge, but no, they actually said open it in your default browser. Thank you for that little bit of extra leeway you gave us there, Microsoft.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So I guess that's-
I'm excited that the case is starting, and I probably should just make a video on this because I've been reading a lot about it. But I want it to be over already so that Google can just get back to hauling ass and making good stuff and not worry about everybody breathing down their neck and threatening to break up the company.
Yeah, I guess all the app opening and app shortcuts are like that. It's all Control Shift Alt the Windows and then a letter.
Goodness.
So it's like W for Word, X for Excel, P for PowerPoint, O for Outlook, T for Teams, D for OneDrive, N for OneNote, and Y for Yammer.
Yammer? Oi.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. All right, back to
Yammer,
Google Voice.
Google Voice. Yes. So extending spam, basically suspected spam SMS. That is something they've been doing with the voice calls. So this is extending it over to the text messages, the XMS feature of voice. So be able to confirm a suspected spam message or mark a labeled message as not spam. And gonna kind of help identify those for you if you're getting a lot of text message spam.
Did you say XMS?
SMS.
It sounded like you said X, as in xylophone.
Nope.
I thought that was like some new API integration type of messages.
Nope.
Integration with Twitter. I mean,
Nope.
X. XMS. Just wait until
SMS.
Elon makes that a thing.
Yep.
Twitter media messages. XMS. Great.
Yeah.
Jokes.
So this is rolling out to all customers on voice, both personal and kind of business tiers. And it's rolling out scheduled release and rep release domains on an extended pace, potentially longer than 15 days for visibility there. Next, birthday decorations are now going to be visible to you on the people cards.
See?
So when you have someone's birthday coming up, it will put a little animation of some balloons and looks like a little confetti there across the image of the person. I just had my daughter's birthday this weekend, so
Happy birthday.
I will. I guess I'll start to see that.
Let's see, do I have an effect for
them
happy
as well
birthday
in my
here?
contacts.
I don't think so.
Sure, we'll could add something there.
To add that to the
Birthday
music
jingle.
bed on my deck.
Yeah. So that is available to all Workspace customers and personal Google accounts. Next, the ability to add an organizational unit as an attribute in your external directory. So this is for those of you using directory sync. You'll be able to place users from the Azure Active Directory or Azure Directory to a specific organizational unit on the Workspace side of things.
Azure Active Directory or Active Directory. You said Azure Directory, which is probably the same thing as Azure Active Directory.
Active Directory or Active Directory, yeah. Yep.
Proceed.
So either one of those two, making it easier to sync those users and who's going to be mapped to different organizational units on the Workspace side. So have a look at the help article there if you want to learn a little bit more about that and how to get set up with using directory sync and those attributes. And then the one update that we did have is the dual display on Poly Studio X series is now supported and is going to help you make video meetings a little bit more productive. So dual display support for Google Meet on those Poly Studio X series devices will just give you some more ability to see people and content at the same time. So be able to kind of view when a participant is presenting, that they will have that enlarged over on one screen, and the participant view will reflect on the other screen display. And then also where supported, the controller or remote will also provide some options like pinning participants, changing the layout of the participant tiles, and showing the meeting's chat history as well.
Did we see this at Next?
I think we did see some of it. There was some equipment that they were demoing there. I don't know if we specifically saw the dual screen setup.
I'm trying to remember. I toured
equipment there.
Yeah, I toured the Poly booth, and
it was pretty small, wasn't it?
It was, but I think I saw two two screens
Poly
there.
or Logitech? I was thinking. Is it Logitech or Poly? It's the same thing now, right?
No, HP bought Poly.
No. Oh, Poly is Polycom. Oh, that's
Polycom,
right. Yeah,
yeah.
Polycom's a bigger booth. It was the
HP
Logitech
bought,
booth, which was really small.
Yeah, HP bought Poly. Logitech bought somebody else
Oh, interesting.
recently. I forget who.
Did they really?
Yeah, HP bought
did not know
Polycom,
that.
and Polycom had bought somebody else. So HP has a whole bunch now. Polycom bought Plantronics. No, Plantronics bought Polycom, and then HP, and then they became Poly, and then HP bought Poly. I'm pretty sure that's how it happened. Yeah, 2018, Plantronics bought Polycom for $2 billion, and then HP turned around and bought the combined company of the two, which was called Poly, probably for an insane amount of money. I actually had a great talk with them, and I do want to have them come on the show. They are making a serious push for accessories that are tested to work and comply with the Google Chrome certification program. The name of it is blanking on me. Works with Chrome OS. Works with Chromebook, rather. And basically, this guy's entire job, who I hope to have on the show, is testing, being in charge of testing and certifying to make sure that these things work with Chromebook. And they're doing a huge push to make sure that a whole lot of their different products do, whether it's the headsets, the headphones, the cameras, the meeting room solutions, all that jazz. So I'm pretty excited for that, and that was something that I wanted to throw in here. Hopefully we can get him on the next month or two.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad deal for Plantronics. I mean, Plantronics acquired Polycom for $2 billion back in 2018, and HP bought Poly for 3.3. So
there you go.
Had a lot of
Not
value
bad.
to the org there. Yeah.
Not bad at all.
Yeah. All right. Updates on that. Yeah, let's see for the rollout on this one. Available now to all those Poly devices running version 4.01 or higher. So that's all we have for the main updates. As I said, we do have some additional updates here as well on some of the products. So GCDS, so Google Cloud Directory Sync, saw an update, getting a kind of a minor update here. So that now means that GCDS it now uses the Azul Zulu Open JDK version instead of the Oracle Java. And there's also some updates here for some third-party libraries to more recent versions. So get that updated if you are using GCDS. And in the Drive for Desktop app, we saw version 81 rolling out. I'm not sure if I'm on 81 just yet, but that started on the 11th of September. And all first-time users now will receive a new warm welcome message here upon startup. Also, for Windows users, they've changed the File Explorer sidebar icon to the Drive logo. And then for Mac OS, the app icon has been squircled. Yep. So squircled, if those of you don't know, it's like a square and a circle, but not to be confused with a square circle, because that is something different. Yes, a squared circle is something else entirely.
It's a squircled.
Yeah, a squircle.
Squircle. Steve and I had a whole conversation about this before the show. How to actually pronounce this word. SQUIRCLED. Squircled.
Squircle.
Circled, swircled, squared, circled. Not to be confused with square circle.
Right. And then some additional bug fixes and performance improvements there on that update. Finally, we have Chrome 117 on its way out, and I think most everyone should have that by now. A couple of admin console updates here that we saw in there. And so that first one is printing reports is now available in Chrome Management Reports API. I'm sure that some of that, I wonder if that's some of that. Did Ross integrate some of the Chrome Management APIs into GAM? I'm not sure.
Don't know.
He did. Not sure.
Have to ask him.
And then next we had some new policies in the admin console So just one here. That is the before unload event. Cancel by prevent default is enabled. So yeah, that is a policy that provides a temporary opt-out for 2 related fixes to the behavior of confirming the confirmation dialog shown by the before unload event. So a little bit of additional details there if you want to know what that is, but that is now in the admin console. And then, there's a bunch of new updates coming, or a bunch of updates coming to the Chrome browser changes. So that is always useful to keep an eye on so that you know what is happening in the Chrome browser in upcoming future releases. So they do try to list a lot of those in this article, in those release notes. So a long list of items to check out there. And kind of a cool one that I see upcoming Chrome OS changes is that there's some Chrome OS admin templates going to be available to you to kind of help get users apps automatically launched on startup or on demand by users throughout their day. So that's kind of a cool new feature with app launch automation. So that is something that is coming soon. It's kind of cool. Yeah. So that rounds out the updates that we have for you this week, and lots more to come though in the news that Jesse will love to tell you all about here. So,
absolutely. Here we go. And I am going to try and actually include screenshots on this one for those of you who are on the video. It's something I wanted to do for a while and have not gotten around to doing yet, just because usually it's a mad rush to edit this and get it out. But there are so many updates here, and I'm going to try and include screenshots or accompanying video if there is any. Okay, on to a couple of events here. As we mentioned at the top of the show here, the Innovators Plus exclusive. Again, you have to be a member of the community, paid or gotten it through Google Next. This is a TLDR insider recap and Q&A. You're going to have 2 expert Googlers, Forrest Brazil, who's the head of content marketing at Google Cloud, and also one of the performers in the wonderful Legacyland and keynote, the developer keynote. He was the head of the keynote there. And I hope I'm going to get this name right. AJA Hammerly, developer advocate for Google Cloud, are going to be going over some of the updates that came out of Google Next, and they will have a mini AMA. So you're going to be able to discover firsthand to what the Googlers are going to present to share their valuable insights, et cetera, et cetera. Essentially, like with all these events, it could be a little salesy, but it also gives you the opportunity to get in and ask some questions about what's next, and that is where I find the most value. So definitely sign up, and that event is going to be on September 28th at 12 p.m. Pacific time to 1 p.m. And Forrest is great. I don't know Aja. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but I imagine he's great as well, and so I expect that he or she, apologies, don't know any more about the event there, so if you're interested, go and check it out. Skipping before the events is another article about something we've talked quite at length here, and Google's in a little bit of hot water for the lifespan of Chromebooks. Now, as we all know, during the pandemic, schools bought a crap load of Chromebooks, and they bought the crappy ones. So they got real pissed when all of a sudden Google was like, well, they don't work anymore. Or not that they don't work anymore, because we all know better. It's more just that they're not going to be getting security updates. That being said, Google is pushing back the expiration date of Chromebooks, the ones that have already been purchased, not the ones that are going to be purchased today. And it is planning to provide software updates for Chromebooks for up to a decade, which is crazy and awesome. I also find it amusing in this photo that, of course, it's showing Google tests its monthly software releases on supported models, but the photo in the Wall Street Journal is the bright orange red, most expensive Samsung Galaxy Chromebook, etc., $1,000 model. So funny when you're talking about schools being pissed because they bought cheap laptops and you want them to last a decade. It would easily last a decade on this model, except for the fact that the battery probably won't last that long. Because it already had battery issues from the get-go. So anyway, Google currently... Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
No, I was just going to chime in that I picked up the CX-9 yesterday. Ooh. So I've got that on the way. I needed a Chromebook, and figured I'd get that one. It was
CS9
one
is
of the
nice. Wide, but nice.
Yeah, it was, it was really down to what was in stock and had Chrome Enterprise integrated with it. So that was kind of the best one that I could find in stock.
Cool. Well, now it should last for 10 years since you bought it. Starting in 2024, Google will support a given laptop quote-unquote platform, a certain combination of hardware components for 10 years after the first device in the platform hits store shelves. These so-called platforms aren't unique to specific brands or manufacturers and can be found in a variety of distinct models, which they link out to on chromium.org. The change retroactively and automatically applies to devices released since 2021. On pre-2021 Chromebooks, users will have the option to extend support once they've hit their death date. I've never called it a death date before, but that is their words here in the Wall Street Journal article. I have called it a drop dead date, though, so I guess it is similar. In practice, this means any model set to expire within the next 2 years can receive an extension of 2 to 3 years, depending on the model. For example, Google's own Pixelbook, slated to expire in June 2024, can now receive updates until 27. A little bit more information in the article. If you're interested, go and check it out in the show notes. There is also a keyword article detailing some of this on the Google blog, 10 years of automatic updates, with a little bit more details. And even if a Chromebook is no longer receiving updates, it says here it still comes with strong built-in security features. With verified boot, for example, your Chromebook does a self-check every time it starts up. And if it detects the system has been tampered with or corrupted in any way, it will typically repair itself, reverting back to its original state, which, by the way, is one of my all-time favorite features of the Chromebooks, because sometimes computers get corrupted. And in this case, it literally fixes itself. It's self-healing. I love that. It's great both as an admin and as a user. So fantastic.
Yeah, I've definitely used that a couple times in the past where there's an issue with the device and someone was in a meeting and I'm like, all right, yeah, let me have your laptop. And, the OS was reinstalled within 5 minutes. Before their meeting was over, I had power washed it and reinstalled the OS and things were working as normal. What else was I going to mention, though, about Chromebooks? I was going to say something else about it. I don't know. I was going to ask you, have you used any of the Chromebooks that have the AMD Ryzen processors compared to the Intels?
Good question. No, I did recently have hands-on with a Lenovo AMD, but it was a Windows machine, and it overheated, and we had to send it back for repairs because AMD. I guess I don't know. I have to, I guess, try one on Chromebooks because every time I've tried AMD, it hasn't ended well. It's not been as powerful, or it's had issues, or it overheated. In this case, all of the above. I do know that there's a huge group of people out there, a huge market that love AMD. So they're obviously working for some people. I just, I haven't had a whole lot of experience with them, or good luck, I suppose, around that.
Yeah, because I was looking at the other part of what the devices I was looking for was obviously in stock, right? 16 gig of RAM.
Yes.
And, and had the Chrome OS Enterprise license already attached to it. So it really only had two options. And that was the CX9, with the 16 gig, and then it had the 512 SSD, which was pretty good, but a little pricier.
Yeah.
The other one was the HP Pro C645. And that was the one that came with the Ryzen 7 processor, but only had 120 gig SSD, but also a lot cheaper, 812 instead of 1200. So I was kind of considering getting that one, but also because the HP also, I should have probably got the HP. I mean, the HP has a 3-year warranty on it compared to the Asus, which only has one.
And the build quality on the HPs are just so fantastic. So is the Asus, but I love the trackpad on the HP. I don't know if it's available on the C645. But on the Dragonfly Pro and Elite, it's the exact same one that they're using in the whatever they call their elite level version of Windows laptops, and it's the second best trackpad I've ever used. It's the only good trackpad I've ever used outside of the MacBook Pros, the modern MacBook Pros.
Okay.
Trying to see the display, storage, keypad, touch. Here we go. Pointer device, touch out, multi-touch gestures enables. Yeah, so their website's a little bit confusing because it said the exact same thing, touchpad with multi-touch gestures enabled, but it's the same haptic, or at least it was in my case, the same haptic feedback touch trackpad, and that's where you press down on it, and it has a little engine that taps back at you, similar to what's in a lot of modern phones these days, as opposed to an actual physical clickety-click, which some people may prefer. I happen to love the haptic feedback.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice. Yeah, no, this one here says spill-resistant multi-touch gesture function, so I'm not sure specifically what that is.
If it's spill-resistant, my money's on haptic because it's easier to seal since it's not a physical button. No clickety-click means one piece of solid machined, etc.
Yeah.
All right, on to 5 events here announced in the Google Cloud community. I did reorder them in chronological order now, so I will list them in order of when they occur here. So the first one is September 19th at 10 a.m. Pacific. I don't think, even if I edit this show by 10 a.m. Pacific, it's not going to upload and render on YouTube and on the podcast side by 10 a.m. Pacific, so apologies there. But you should, if you're interested in AppSheet, then you should go back and rewatch this. This is going to be an AppSheet office hours. There are updates to AppSheet databases, input functionality, and expanded access for Workspace editions. You will hear from members of the AppSheet team providing recent product updates, demoing the most recent features, and answering people's questions live. So again, apologies that I didn't get this out earlier. You should be in the Google Cloud community. That's googlecloudcommunity.com, which is where I see all of these things. And these are posted regularly. So if you want to be on top of these as soon as they get posted, then you should definitely make sure to subscribe to the events channel of each topic that you're interested in. In this case, this one is in AppSheets. Okay, next event here is on September 21st at 9 a.m. Pacific, and it is a deep dive into Google Workspace security with Kevin Apodaca. Sorry, dude. I won't try it again. How to make safe and smart collaboration a reality. So some stats here. Despite how central it is to business success, security can often be seen as a detractor to productivity. 37% of enterprise IT leaders and knowledge workers say that security and regulatory policies are the biggest challenge to an effective employee digital experience. And I generally agree with that. So this will do a deep dive into the Google Workspace security features, including live demos, Q&A, and best practices covering foundational security principles, advanced security options, and encrypted communication features. There's a form to fill out, so fill out the form to register the event. Once you're registered, you'll receive a calendar invite via email, and even if you can't make it live, register, and they will send you a link to the recording after the event. Again, that's September 21st, 9 a.m. Pacific. Next one. Another Workspace one, product update and live Q&A. Spaces, organized by topic, Steve's favorite. Upgrade to inline threaded spaces in chat. So Steve is going to be forming a picket line around this virtual event and bringing all of his mobs of angry protesters that are upset about the move to inline threaded. And I don't totally disagree with you, Steve. There are some elements there that I do agree with you on, but I do like the direction that it's going in here. So as you know, they previously announced a streamlining the way to organize conversations in Google Chat, yada yada yada. Starting September 30th, existing Google Chats spaces that are organized by conversation topic will be upgraded to the new inline threaded experience. As we've talked about in the past, there's actually a form that you can fill out to choose when you would like this transition to happen, whether earlier or later, and then whether during the week or on the weekends. That was in our show notes from a couple of weeks ago, so if you missed it, go listen or rewatch our previous episodes, and you can find it there. Join the session to understand details about the upgrade from conversion topic to inline threaded Google Chat Spaces. See inline threaded chat spaces in action with best practices for admins. I always find that valuable. You can see a preview of the upcoming enhancements to inline threads and get your questions answered with live Q&A, and possibly see Steve throw a fit and try and convince them that this is not the way and that they should revert back to the previous approach and completely throw away all of the design and work that they've done in the last year or so getting this new way ready. Is that accurate, Steve?
I mean, it's pretty mostly accurate. I think they can adjust a few things, to make it work, but I don't know. It's been not an ideal transition so far with what I've seen from my perspective. So I don't know, a lot of new features in chat coming out though. Like we saw it announced, so there were 48 different updates that they talked about. So yeah, I mean they're making some progress there, but there's still some kind of major design flaws I feel in the way it's going to be functioning. So
Right.
we'll see.
All right. Next event is on September 28th at 10 a.m. Pacific. It is Simplified and Secure Cloud Identity Management with Google Cloud Identity, Microsoft AD, and Azure AD. Not every day you see the words Microsoft and Azure posted on the Google Cloud community and blog, etc. This is going to be with Pedro Sousa, Technical Account Manager, and Pamela Canova, another technical account manager at Google, and we'll be discussing ways to gain a foundational understanding of identity management with Google Cloud Identity and Google Workspace. They'll be exploring common scenarios and use cases where you'll want to consider federating Google Cloud with an external identity provider, and you'll learn how to get started with different provisioning and authentication models available to integrate Google Cloud Identity with Microsoft Active Directory, AD, or Azure Active Directory, Azure AD. You also have the opportunity to ask questions and receive answers live. There's a registration form in this event as well as the previous event, so click over to here if you would like to attend those. Last event we have on here is with our buddy Charles Maxon and Cara Ireland, tips and tricks for getting the most out of Google Workspace App Script. That's going to be on October 6th at 9 a.m. Pacific. Super early on all these specific ones. Goodness, I won't even have finished my morning coffee at this point. But I will be there because, first of all, gotta support Charles. Love him. Don't know Kara. We'll have to meet her. Essentially, yes, live Q&A. As organizations of all sizes are focused on delivering improved user experiences, the need for agile and adaptable solutions is becoming increasingly apparent. Google Apps Script is a powerful low-code development platform that makes it fast and easy to create business applications that integrate with Google Workspace. But you knew that already, I'm sure. Here, you will join the experts to learn Apps Script tips and tricks. Say that 5 times fast. Apps Script tips and tricks to combine APIs, automation, configuration as code, and more to improve your productivity using Google Workspace. Do you wonder if they knew that they were creating a tongue twister like that when they wrote this for me to try and say here? I don't think so, but they did. Whether you're a seasoned developer or just getting started with low-code development, this event will provide you with the insights and information you need to start building custom solutions with Google Apps Script. And of course, a Q&A. Another form to register to attend the event. And again, if you're not there, they'll send you the recording. Okay, on to other momentous news. The Google Domains Squarespace deal has closed. We didn't know when it was going to happen. Didn't hear anything about regulatory anything, and poof, it's done. This was a tooltip or a slight message at the top of Google Domains. If you open your account now, you'll probably see it. Google has closed an agreement for Squarespace Inc. to acquire all the domain name registrations from Google Domains. In here, they actually changed the way that some of these things are going to be, so it still remains to be seen. They were telling us that you would still manage things in Google Domains, except that Squarespace would be the registrar. I don't know if that's the case. The way that it's worded here makes me think that it might not be, but I'm not sure. Trying to find the exact location they put it here. Until your domains are migrated to Squarespace, a process that will happen in the next few months, you can continue to manage your existing domains at Google Domains. If you wish to purchase a new domain now, try Squarespace. This is an affiliate link, which is interesting. If you make a purchase from Squarespace, we may earn a commission, which is very, very interesting. Why does Google need to earn 2 cents on your, or $1 on your domain or whatever from all of them? I guess just another way to make money on this, but this was not a smart move on their behalf, on their part, in my opinion, possibly our opinion. Do you agree, Steve?
Do I agree with what the way that
it
they
was not
transitioned
a
it, or
good
that they
idea to
sold sell it?
Yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, I'm not sure why they would have done that. Was it just too much end user support hassle? Maybe was that what it was? I mean, I feel like anything that requires a lot of support, they just don't want to, deal with too much. With like end users, they pushed a lot of the support into communities. Of course, with the consumer products, it's over there. You can't really get support unless you have like a Google One subscription, and even then, it's still, questionable. I still constantly have issues with Google support. So I don't know how it diverged into that, but from a question about Squarespace, whether they should have sold it, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really sure what the thoughts were on that, but I'm sure it was some sort of financial decision that they just wanted to, maybe it wasn't making them enough money. They wanted to, get it over to someone that was maybe more aligned with their overall business goals. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. One of the interesting things that I was mentioning before here is that they say now that the transaction between Google and Squarespace has closed, you're a customer of Squarespace. Google Domains will no longer offer new domain registration, so you cannot buy a domain right now through Google Domains if you head over there and give that a shot. Until your domains are migrated to Squarespace, a process that will happen in the next few months, you can continue to manage your existing domains at Google Domains. And there's more information in the article here, some FAQs, what do you need to do, what happens next, etc. Yeah. There is an entire FAQ on cloud domains as well. Google continues to provide and support cloud domains following the Squarespace purchase of Google Domains. Because Google Domains was the underlying domains registrar for cloud domains prior to Squarespace's purchase, there are some important changes that affect cloud domains. Essentially, Squarespace is the registrar for your domains managed by cloud domains. So that may stick around. This still seems very up in the air here as information continues to be a little bit in flux here. Squarespace Domains is an independent domain registrar service provided by Squarespace. Your domain registrations with cloud domains and related data such as domain configurations and whois data, which includes customer contact info and DNS delegation, are migrating to Squarespace Domains after a transition period, which we anticipate completing no sooner than early 2024. So a little bit of both, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I guess we'll have to just wait and see how this continues to unfold. But Google does seem to be, unfortunately, washing their hands of the whole ordeal. So that's a little bit sad, a little depressing there. There is a 95 Google article that sums this up quite nicely, so feel free. And of course, they do mention in here that should you want to take advantage of an offer from WordPress, they're offering the first 1 million domains that are brought over, free registration and transfer for the first 1 million domains that come over, with pricing matched for at least one additional year. So you do have that option as well, and that's very nice of WordPress for doing that in an obvious or not so obvious land grab of Google Domains customers. Okay, moving on to something a little bit lighter and more fun. Emojis. Google's Emoji Mashup Maker, another tongue twister-ish, is now available in search. Basically, you can take a koala and a strawberry and create a strawberry koala, or you could randomize it or choose the different emojis that you want on here. The way that you use the tool is you go into Google and you type Emoji Kitchen, and you click on the Get Cooking prompt, and from there you can pick from dozens of different emoji to combine or play around with the randomizer. This is adorable. This is awesome, and I'm actually curious what platforms this works on. Apparently, it's been available to Android users through its Gboard app in that keyboard. It also works on mobile browsers and the Google app, so iPhone users can finally access the feature and paste their creations into iMessage. So I guess if you have just a bunch of tabs open with your favorite creations, or maybe there's a way to save them, then you can use them over on iOS as well. So that's a fun one. Here's one that caught me a little bit by surprise. Announcing third-party extensions for Duet, AI, and Workspace, Salesforce is their first partner. Don't you think it would have been a good idea to announce this at Google Next, or were they waiting for Salesforce's conference a week later, which was also at Moscone in San Francisco?
Yeah, maybe.
What? Did they just I don't know. Was this dessert at the end of the meal? Did they put the final touches on this and then decide to put it out there? Like, timing. Okay, sure. Essentially, they're announcing third-party extensions to Duet AI and Google Workspace, and they're kicking it off with Squarespace. Not Squarespace. Salesforce. Oh, my God. Too many S's, forces, spaces, workforce, workspaces, workforce, Salesforce. Oh, my God. Oh, it's too late, obviously. I've been doing this for, it's been a long day. This is going to be interesting to see how this expands and what you're going to be able to do with it. They're beginning to open it up to a Duet AI in Google Workspace to a third-party ecosystem of partners, starting with Salesforce. Hey, I got to write that down. Connecting Duet AI with more of your unique business context and workflows will allow it to become an even more helpful collaboration partner. You can rest assured your interactions with Duet AI will stay within your organization, and your existing Google Workspace privacy protections are automatically applied. Can we just drop the AI from Duet? Can we just call it Duet? Like, seriously, Google? Really? How many times do I have to say Duet AI, Duet AI, Duet AI, Duet? We get it. It's Duet. See the sticker over here? Oh, no, that even says Duet AI on it. Never mind. Actually, that sticker, those of you on the podcast side can't see it, but that sticker is bent in a way that can't really see what's on it, so I'll have to fix that later on. Should be very interesting. It's going to be integrating Duet AI and Einstein Copilot, which I actually don't really know what that is, but is a Salesforce product which helps you tap into your Salesforce data. So interesting collaboration here, especially since Salesforce owns another little competing company called Slack. So who knows? Maybe we'll see an better integration between Slack and Google Chat. We did just see the who was it that did the integration? I'm blanking on that at the moment. It was last week's show, I think. But that is a completely separate service and not directly from Salesforce. So who knows? Maybe in the future we'll have a better deep level integration across those tools. Last and least, because it's another bit of sad news here. Google has got to stop moving away from the smart displays. I love the smart displays. They need to keep the smart assistants, the Nest Hub Max, etc. I have one on my desk. It shows pictures of my kids all day long. It is absolutely a bright part of my day. Oh, and it has notifications, and it has weather, and it has, Google Assistant right in front of me. And I really just want them to keep it. However, they are dropping support for Google Meet and Zoom on the Nest Hub Max at the end of September, which is in a week and a half. Here. Yes, Steve.
No, I'm just realizing that I got a low battery alert, so I have 9%. So,
well, it's a good thing this is the last event. We'll wrap things up so that you have time to finish uploading so that we don't get a corrupted show. All right, so Google spokesperson Robert Ferreira has confirmed these changes to The Verge, stating you'll no longer be able to join meetings via meeting codes in Google Meet at the end of this month. Similarly, a support page updated by Zoom in July states that all Zoom support for Google Nest Hub Max will end on September 30th, 2023. After that date, the Zoom app will stop working, and users will no longer be able to install or update the app. This is sad, I think. On the upside of this, I suppose, you're still going to be able to make one-on-one calls through Duo, because that makes sense. Aren't we pushing everybody to Meet and away from Duo? Seriously? What? Okay, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see on this, what's going to happen with these devices. And if you really, really need to continue making calls on a tablet-based or a screen magical-based device on your desk, then go get the new Google Pixel tablet, which I have and have been using, and is quite wonderful, but is not quite as simple as the Nest Hub Max here. So
I wonder if they just didn't see much usage of it and didn't want to continue to support it anymore.
I guess. I happen to know.
I remember...
Yeah, go ahead.
I remember when David kind of mentioned, this feature coming to these devices and how kind of cool that was. But to be honest, I've never used it. I've never used it on my devices. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's probably why.
I happen to know a certain CEO that likes to take all of his Google Meet calls on his desk. A CEO of a large Google integrator. More on that on Twitter, or X as it's now called, if you follow me there. He and I were commenting on that a little bit. But yeah, I don't personally use that feature very much, but I do want to see Google stop moving away from those devices and those displays and come back, especially given the big news that just came out today. Panos, shoot, I'm going to butcher his name too. Panos Panay, who was the head of something or other at Microsoft, the head of Windows and Surface, the guy who was behind a lot of the innovative and super cool Microsoft Surface devices and lineup, including the foldable one that they also just discontinued. He's leaving the company, and Amazon is hiring him to run their entire Alexa division. Apologies to anybody who has an Amazon Echo device that I just set off. He was at Microsoft for 20 years, and he's replacing the Amazon Devices chief, Dave Limp, who's retiring. So obviously there's a big move in the space. Amazon is not done here. Huge hire getting Panos today. I've loved what he's done in the past with all the Microsoft stuff that he's been involved with. And I just got to say, Google, do not drop the ball on this one. This is serious. Something is happening here. Stay competing, please. Anyway, I will end with that. Once again, please remember to come to our event September 26th, 10 a.m. Pacific, for the Jamf Certified Associate Certification event that we're going to be doing with the Jamf team. If you've got questions in advance, feel free to comment in this video or send them over, whether it's on Twitter/X, email info@tabgeeks.com, whatever tickles your fancy. Give us a thumbs up, leave us a review wherever you're listening, questions and comments down below if you would like, or check out our website, workspacerecap.com. Have a great week. We'll see you next time on Workspace Recap.